Assalamu alaikum. Dear students, once again welcome to Army Public School PMA Resource Network. Before we start our today's subject history, please subscribe this page and click on the bell icon to receive notifications of our upcoming videos. This is week 9 and in our today's subject we are going to discuss about Mughal Empire. Objectives: students will be able to identify the factors which contributed to the conquest of India by Babur. Briefly describe Humayun, his rule, exile and restoration. List the salient features of Suri's governance, communication network and public welfare institutions. Describe Akbar's role in the expansion and consolidation of Mughal Empire. Success criteria. Carefully look out for all the information given in the textbook. Make timeline of Mughal emperors in the notebooks. Relate the Grand Trunk Road with present day's GT Road. Zahiruddin Muhammad Babur. Zahiruddin Muhammad Babur was born in the royal family of Farghana on 14th February 1483. When his father Umar Sheikh Mirza died in 1494, Babur ascended the throne at the age of 12. As his father Umar Sheikh Mirza was the ruler of Farghana, so after his death, Babur ascended the throne when he was of 12 years. His father had spent his life to gain control of Samarkand, and Babur continued the legacy. In 1497, he conquered this city, but lost it again, and reconquered it in 1501. But while he was busy in his expeditions, some of his uncles and nobles of Farghana revolted against him and exiled him from his homeland. And for 3 years he wandered in Central Asia, trying to prove his leadership qualities to his followers. Finally, he established himself as the king of Kabul in 1504. Babur kept on trying to conquer Samarkand and Farghana, but he failed and diverted his attention to other territories. He was eager to conquer areas across Hindu Kush. He raided India for the first time in 1519. First Battle of Panipat. In 1521, the nobility of Delhi invited Babur to Delhi and drove out Ibrahim Lodi, the ruler of Delhi. Ibrahim Lodi was the ruler of Delhi, but nobility of Delhi did not accept him as the ruler, so they invited Babur to Delhi in 1521. When Babur came to Delhi, Daulat Khan, who was the governor of Lahore at that time, he supported Babur's invasion. He thought that after defeating Ibrahim Lodi, Babur would return to Kabul like many other conquerors who come, conquer and go back to their own area. However, that did not happen. So, 5 years after his initial invitation to subcontinent, Babur launched an attack on Delhi Sultanate in 1526. In April 1526, on the grounds of Panipat, Babur's forces came across Ibrahim Lodi's huge army. As Ibrahim Lodi's army consisted of herds of elephants, and Babur's army, it was well-trained army, and they also used gunpowder in weapons. Because of these military tactics, Babur won that battle. That is known as the First Battle of Panipat. And what was the result of this battle? It brought about the end of Delhi Sultanate and laid the foundation of Mughal Empire. Challenges for Babur. What challenges did Babur face after ascending the throne? After gaining control over the Delhi Sultanate, Babur had to face two challenges. Firstly, his nobles did not like the environment and wanted to go back to their hometown, as they came from Kabul, so they don't like the environment of subcontinent or the environment of Delhi, and they wanted to go back to their hometown Kabul. Secondly, the Rajputs were gathering against the Mughals under the leadership of Rana Sanga, who was the ruler of Mewar. But Babur came across Rana Sanga in the Battle of Kanwa and succeeded by using his superior military tactics. Babur also compiled his memoirs in his autobiography called Tuzk-e-Babri, in which he recorded his experiences of invading different regions and the memoirs of his homeland Farghana. In 1530, Babur fell ill because of his long, tiring campaigns, and on 26 December 1530, Babur died at the age of 47. Nasiruddin Muhammad Humayun. Humayun was the second Mughal emperor. First Mughal emperor was Babur, who was also the founder of Mughal Empire, and the second Mughal emperor was Humayun. After Babur's death, Humayun followed his father's advice. As his father advised him to be kind to his brothers, so he appointed them to high position, but in return they betrayed him. In the first 10 years of his rule, the main challenges he faced were posed by the Afghan nobles. Humayun realized that Sher Shah Suri was the greatest emerging threat to the Mughal Empire. So, to subdue Sher Shah Suri's power, Humayun marched towards Bihar and Bengal with huge army. Sher Shah Suri, being a wise general, very tactfully defeated the Mughal emperor. In May 1540, Humayun made another attempt to recover his fortune in Kannauj, but was defeated again. He was compelled to flee India and obtained protection from Shah Tahmasp of Iran in 1544. He captured Kabul and Kandahar with the help of the king of Persia, and finally restored the Mughal throne at Delhi. In 1556, he fell from the observatory stairs and received fatal injuries and died. Now, observatory, as he was interested in astronomy, so he established an observatory on the rooftop to study the stars, and he fell from the observatory stairs and died in 1556. Sher Shah Suri. Sher Shah Suri's rule spans over 5 years, from 1540 to 1545. Sher Shah Suri was not from the family of Babur or Humayun, but he was a military general who took over the throne from Humayun in 1540 and ruled till 1545. During this time period, he introduced reforms in military and civil fields. During his short reign, he constructed a road link from Peshawar to Bengal that is known as the Grand Trunk Road. He built rest houses at a distance of every 10 miles with beds, water resources, and grains for horses. Trees were planted along the route for the travelers to rest. He established postal service in the region and set up courts throughout the kingdom to provide justice to Muslims and Hindus. He also divided his kingdom into districts and appointed honest officials. After his death in 1545, his successor could not hold the empire, hence the Suris Empire collapsed. This is week 10th and we are going to discuss about Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar, the Mughal Emperor. Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar. Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar was born in 1542 in Umarkot, Sindh, during the exile of Emperor Humayun. He ascended the throne at the age of 13 in 1556. He ascended the throne in 1556 after the death of his father Humayun. His army chief Bairam Khan was a great support to him, and he handled the challenges of Akbar's power. But later in 1560, Akbar dismissed Bairam Khan. Challenges faced by Akbar's regime. First challenge was Second Battle of Panipat. Second Battle of Panipat was fought between Mughal army and Hemu army. Hemu was the governor of Bengal, as he marched towards Agra and took control. So, on the grounds of Panipat, Mughal army defeated them. Hemu was killed in this battle. Second challenge was nobles in the court. As Akbar faced problem in declaring his authority in the court, because most of the nobles in his court were older than him and treated him as a young boy. For 4 years, Bairam Khan served as the guardian of Akbar, as he was too young. Soon Akbar realized that Bairam Khan had become too powerful, so he started taking matters of governance in his own hand. Soon Akbar proclaimed his authority over all nobles in the court, and all rebellions were suppressed. And the third challenge was Rajputs. Akbar had to subdue the warlike Rajputs. The jizya imposed on non-Muslims and pilgrimage tax paid by Hindus was abolished. In 1567, the Mughal forces led by Akbar conquered the kingdom of Mewar. They surrounded and besieged 8,000 Rajputs and around 40,000 peasants in Chittorgarh and the capital of Mewar. Mansabdari system. Akbar abolished the old Jagirdari system and replaced it with Mansabdari system. The old Jagirdari system was set up by his ancestors, but Akbar replaced it with Mansabdari system. Now what's this Mansabdari system? In which senior army officers were chosen as commanders, and these commanders were paid by Akbar himself, and all commanders were given large pieces of land under an oath to be loyal to the emperor alone. The nobles were given ranks. They were all paid to maintain an army of up to 5,000 soldiers according to their ranks. The royal princes maintained up to 10,000 soldiers. Due to Mansabdari system, due to this division of commanders and nobles, Akbar had an efficient, well-trained army that was always ready to fight. Administration and justice during the time period of Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar. The empire was divided into 15 provinces by Akbar for effective administration, and each province was ruled by a governor, and that governor was responsible for law and order and administration of the province. For criminal cases, judges were appointed, and the Sharia law was consulted for Muslims' cases, while the respective juries of Hindus settled their disputes. Religion. Akbar believed in religious harmony and wanted to harmonize the relationships between Muslims and Hindus. Akbar introduced a new religion, Deen-e-Ilahi, which he said contained the best teachings of all the other religions. But ulama rejected it as it had many un-Islamic practices. Akbar also appointed Hindus on important positions in the court, government, and army. These religions phased out with the death of its founder Akbar, as he died in Fatehpur Sikri. Akbar's contribution to expand and strengthen the Mughal Empire are significant in defining the course of history of the subcontinent. Thank you. Stay blessed. Take care of your parents. Allah Hafiz.